Okay. Good morning, everyone. I don't know what's going on with Conrad OBrian's page. There is no sound coming from it, so I don't know what on earth is going on. This minute it works, it minute doesn't work. Let me see if I can get a hold of him.
All right, Gino.
Are you telling me say it? Are you telling me say 1 and 10 is the 1 plus 1 and 2 when we put out society out there for?
All right, Gino. We have to shut talk back to me later. I'm up on the 10 o'clock break. Listen, let's hear what Mr. has to say.
Asking that one, Conrad, that's the one that put the morality.
I will. All right, cool. Take care. That's it. All right, let's go to the 10 o'clock break. So come back.
You hold on.
Talk 93 FM is 10 o'clock. Contact News Talk 93 FM today via phone at 876-927-1660, extension 2475, or 876-427-9955. Email us at newstalk93fmsales@gmail.com. Visit our website at www.newstalk93fm.net.
This is our class. On This American Life, we like stories that surprise you. For instance, imagine finding a new hobby and realizing
to do this hobby right, according to the ways of the masters, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to have to bend the law to get the materials that you need. If not break it. Yeah. To break international laws.
Your life stories, really good ones. This American Life.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. President Trump says he's canceling a meeting this week with top congressional Democrats. Writing online last hour, Trump says it wouldn't be productive. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Democratic Leader Hakeem Jeffries said this morning they had agreed to meet this week. They're trying to reach an agreement on a federal government spending plan. If Congress does not pass a spending agreement, the federal government will shut down next week. Democrats have been demanding that Republicans rescind enormous cuts in federal health care programs before they'll support a spending plan. Today, Trump called these demands unserious, sitting where the General Assembly is open. The first speaker was Secretary General Antonio Guterres. He immediately called out the catastrophic wars around the world. Guterres systems and interrupt emergency response communication. It could also have interfered with the UN General Assembly events this week. The Secret Service says the equipment could be used to interrupt emergency response communication and other links. The cache of equipment included 100,000 SIM this morning. Boeing scouts for new business. NPR's Scott Horsley reports the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose about 280 points in early trading.
Boeing shares got a lift from news that Uzbekistan Airways plans to buy nearly 24 Dreamliners. Investors are also hoping Boeing could be close to inking a deal with China a large number of U.S.-made jets. Jaguar Land Rover says its auto assembly lines in the UK will remain shut down for at least another week as the company tries to recover from a cyber attack. More than 30,000 auto workers have been idled by the attack since the end of last month. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell speaks about the nation's economic outlook in Rhode Island this afternoon. His remarks come after the central bank cut its benchmark interest rate last week for the first time in 9 months. Asian stocks were mixed overnight. Washington.
Wall Street, the Dow is now up about 160 points. You're listening to NPR News from Washington. The administration is going to warn pregnant women against using Tylenol. He says the active ingredient in the medication is responsible for causing autism. Doctors, medical researchers, and autism activists are alarmed. They say the science does not back up the president's statement. Many colleges and universities are scaling back or shutting down their college assistance migrant program. The U.S. Education Department cut the funding for it. The program, known as CAMP, has served students from migrant and seasonal farm worker families for over 50 years. NPR's Jordan Owens has more.
The program receives nearly $500,000 each year. In June, participating colleges received emails from the Education Department saying they would not get their funding this school year. The migrant student program provides specialized mental health counseling, tutoring, financial aid, and other resources. With schools enrolling and receiving their funding in 5-year cycles, the abrupt pause came in the middle of that period. In August, a group representing colleges, universities, and nonprofits the funding. Kate Covington, president-elect of the association, says the loss of funding has forced some schools to lay off staff and prepare for the closure of projects. Jordan Owens, NPR News.
A social media video is getting attention. A South African preacher is claiming the mostly evangelical Christian belief known as the rapture will occur today or tomorrow. This is the belief that Christians will be caught up in the air with Jesus Christ. The social video has prompted both concern and jokes. I'm Conrad Coleman, NPR News.
On the plus side, you get sponsor-free listening to over 25 NPR podcasts. On the minus side, you get fewer chances to tap fast forward on your podcast player. On the plus side, you get to support something you care about. On the minus side, you like challenges and think this makes it too easy. So why don't you join us on the plus side of things with NPR Plus? Learn more and sign up at plus.npr.org.
Our duty to keep our island clean. For people to Kingston sidewalk and beach. Baggage, minutes, cycle it, please. Rubber garbage disposal, me put keep Jamaica, keep Jamaica. Keep Jamaica, keep. Message from the National Solid Waste Management Authority. Are you looking for exceptional dental care? Then look further, because Wellington Dental is here to serve you. We offer dental care for both adults and children. At Wellington Dental, we know that a visit to the dentist might be mind-boggling, but that's getting the dental care you need. We have trained therapists to alleviate your anxiety and make you feel so easy. You feel like you're in Spanish Town. We look forward to serving you.
Marshall Manufacturing Company Limited, located in Greenland, Spanish Town. We manufacture custom-made clothes and shoes for the best quality in uniform, corporate wear, safety, and sport shoes. Visit Kenmore Shoe Manufacturing Company Limited. Kenmore, the best sport shoe. Call us today at 876-632-8018. Email us at ken_mor2005@gmail.com. Kenmore, the best for sure.
Bag it and we'll collect it. Properly packed, tie, and place household waste in a container and store it in areas easily accessible to our sanitation workers. Management list.
Actor broadcaster, I want you to join me on a journey of interviews and positive thoughts that will move your feet, warm your heart, and revive your soul. Tune in to the Vintage Lounge, Sundays, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. The lyrics, the music, and the mood will take you back to the wonderful memories of days gone by. Pause a while, relax, and enjoy the Vintage Lounge. Sundays, 10 a.m. to 12 noon on Newstock 93 FM. Heard everywhere.
Straight Up with host Conrad OBrian live from the studios of Newstock 93 FM comes to Fit FM 96.7 Knowledge Radio Monday 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Correction with man Conrad OBrian on Straight Up live from the studios of Newstock 93 FM and simulcast on Fit FM 96.7 FitFMJ8.com. Knowledge Radio, Fit FM, your life, your music.
Know the voices, the movement, and I'm not your yesterday, man. I'm trying to please. Already, you are building the Jamaica of the future.
We're right at the University of the West Indies.
This university and the people of Jamaica are with us all the way through.
The University Archives and NT93 FM present Voices from the Archives. Weekdays at 12:30 p.m., Monday to Thursdays at 6 in the evening, and Sundays at 8 in the morning on Newstock 93 FM.
To participate on our programs, call, WhatsApp, or text us at 876-212-9824 or 876-462-0919. And follow us on Instagram at Newstock 93 FM.
Newstock 93 FM. Everywhere.
Following Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Wellington Dental, providing dental care at its best.
Welcome back to Straight Up right here at Newstock 93 FM. My name is Conrad OBrian, called the Fireman. Of course, you're in tune to your mid-morning number one fix right here at the radio Straight Up. And we go up until 12 midday. We're coming to you live from the studios of Newstock here at UWI Mona campus. And indeed, it's Tuesday, the 23rd day of September 2025. Lots of things have been happening within the education sector here in Jamaica. Chief among them, within recent time, is the discussion about dress code. And certainly that has been a perennial problem. We heard of it year on year. You know, sometimes it's about the hair, it's about the length of the skirts, and indeed, how much space are there in the pants of our boys, the trousers of our boys. And certainly, you know, we heard within recent time that students were actually barred from going into class. This morning, our spotlight guest is none other than the 61st president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Mr. Mark Malavo, who himself is also principal of one of our high school here in Jamaica. All right, so without further ado, let me welcome Mark Malavo, president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, to the platform here at Newstock 93 FM, to the microphone of Newstock 93 FM. And of course, we're also up on the Straight Up with Conrad. We are streaming live there on YouTube, so you can go there. We're also up on Nick with Talk YouTube channel as well. Hello, welcome, caller. I'm sorry, Mr. Oh my goodness, sorry. Sorry, I know that would happen. Mr. Malavo, JT President, how are you doing, sir?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I am very well, thank you, sir. And let me publicly offer, I did it elsewhere, but let me do it here, offer my congratulations to you. I know the campaign, but that you went through a very, very vigorous campaign to emerge as the president of the Jamaica Teachers Association when you were president-elect. Now you're front and center serving your term as president of the Jamaica Teachers Association. Am I correct that you are the 61st president?
Yes, you are correct.
Good, good.
Thank you for that. You are right. It was indeed a very robust campaign, and I'm humbled by the opportunity to serve. I've always been passionate about education. I've always been passionate about advocacy. I know nothing else but education. Don't ask me to fly a plane. Don't ask me to open a bonnet.
But I know you're also very versed in gardening. You can use a walker or a lawnmower.
I should be able to.
All right. I did mention that you're a principal for one of our high school. You know, we like to give full credit. What's the name of your school?
We refer to it as the Academy of Yallas High, but it is gazetted as Yallas High School.
Yallas High School. That's in that's in eastern or western St. Thomas.
It's the western side of St. Thomas. It's the first high school you will encounter on your way into St. Thomas.
Good. We for some reason we still continue to use the name non-traditional high school. As a matter of fact, I think it's something that we should get away from, you know, that designation. But for the time being, you still use that. But generally, you know, you like most schools who are under the banner of the non-tradition, you know, you tend to get students of low performance in the main. You know, you sometimes even have students that you have to put into remedial reading classes and so on and so forth. What's taking place out there at Yallas High, and how are you coping with all of this before we get into the meat of the discussion that we want to get into?
Yeah, I think at the Yallas High School we have done remarkably well in terms of where we were and where we currently are. More and more you find that students are choosing Yallas High School to attend. More and more you find that students are transferring from other schools to want to come into Yallas. And more you're finding that from an administrative standpoint, we have to be turning away students and parents to say we don't have any space. You know, we have very limited resources out there, but notwithstanding that, I think the team at Yallas High School, the teachers being on the front line, have done remarkably well to turn around the school. Our CSEC passes have improved tremendously. You know, our just this year, for example, our English grades have moved up 60% down from 42% or somewhere thereabout. Our maths passes have also improved. Not where we want to be, but it is progress nonetheless, and we acknowledge that, and we acknowledge the work that have been done by the teachers down there. And I think I'm humbled. I'm honored to really lead a dynamic team.
Indeed. Mr. Malavo, principal and indeed president of the JT, Mr. Malavo, there is always a template there, you know, that a number that we're given, and we would say here from time to time that a particular percentage of, say, the grade 11 cohort sits exam, you know, so you don't get that full picture. I know, for example, your colleague down there at Old Harbour High, Mr. Ware, he basically entered all his students to sit exams. What obtains at the Yallas High School over there in Western St. Thomas?
We are getting there. What we have done, for example, is that at the grade 11, in terms of screening for students, what we have said at Yallas High is that, you know, if you if your average is somewhere around 30% at the end of grade 10 going into grade 11 in terms of whatever tests that are assessments that are administered. And if your attendance to school and to classes are in above 70%, then you should be entered to sit the exams. We are moving away from cherry picking. And so that is why I am elated by when I look at my English passes, because English language, for example, would have sent up the most students. Yeah. And what you're seeing is the 60% improvement. So you're seeing a very large cohort of our grade 11s. Other students would sit alternative exams, for example, City and Guilds, that sort of thing. But where we are is that all students must sit and exit exam.
Good. Finally on this, there are some, from time to time, there are some pupils who are basically kicked up the value chain in terms of sitting a couple of subjects at grade 10. You know, are you finding that at the Yallas High School, you're having students who are at grade 10 who are able to basically, you know, manage the C-Sec and so on at that stage?
We have gone one better. We did an experiment some time ago, about a year or ago, and that experiment continues where we enter students from grade 9.
Wow.
You know, and they have done remarkably well. So what we have done, for example, is say, you know, if a teacher comes and she says she believes that these students or this group of students can sit the exam, the teacher has autonomy to collaborate with parents, for example, to get the students entered into the exams. So students get several bites at the cherry. For want of a better word. One of the things that we have also done, you know, is that we have started the CSEC curriculum earlier. So normally the CSEC curriculum would have started at grade 10. What we have done now is it starts at grade 9. So more and more you find that students are exposed, teachers have more time to work with the students, you know, to work with their SBAs, so to speak, and to get them up to par. And we are seeing the results of that in terms of the uptick in passes.
I'm indeed happy that the Yallas High School, based on what you explained here, Principal and indeed President of JTA, Mr. Mark Malava, that your school basically moving to a place where it has now become a school of choice, certainly over there in St. Thomas and maybe by extension Jamaica. So let's get into the meat of the other aspect of the conversation that we want to delve into. We have a situation over the years, you know, and sometimes we think we got it under control, but certainly with still not having a bona fide coding situation within the school, it continues to raise its head from time to time. That of the dress code for our students. You know, we have seen where it was the uniform. Now we're hearing about the hair. You know, it was dreadlock at one point in time. Now we're hearing about the young ladies with the baby hair, and maybe the youngsters, the boys, you know, as to what kind of fade they're wearing. What obtains and does JTA as the body that basically represent teachers and have great interest in school? Does the JTA has a position on that?
Well, where we are is that, you know, teachers and principals would be guilty of a dereliction of their duty if it is that they don't enforce the school rules. So that's where we are, yeah? And we support our teachers, we support our principals in enforcing the school rules because it's a part of their duties and responsibility. Now, dress code and grooming is one aspect of the school rules. Now, how school rules are developed, they are developed primarily at the level of the board of management. So each school has a board of management as per the Education Code of Regulation, and the Code of Regulation gives the autonomy of developing the school rules to the board. Now, every board is represented, every stakeholder to that institution as representation at the board, from the ancillary staff member right back to the students' council. And every man has one vote. Every man is treated as an equal at our woman is treated as an equal at the board level. Now, if it is that the board has looked at their institution and designed a set of rules that govern the institution, then that's where it is. If it is that members, you see, and we keep getting into this thing here. I'm not even at the point of looking at baby here or anything like that, or looking at a tight pants. Where I am at is we have a set of rules, yeah. And what I find in terms of the discourse, a very dangerous discourse that to me is geared towards undermining educational institutions. No, what I would say is that an educational institution is the last frontier of socialization. Yeah, the three main institutions of socialization: the family, the church, and schools. People that go to the church after these days, yeah. The family structures have been undermined and significantly eroded, and that leaves the last frontier, which is our education systems. Schools were never created to be microcosms of society, but society should be macrocosms of schools. And what this means is that ultimately it is supposed to be the schools that shape the society, yeah, and are the part of society that we want. Now, if we continue to undermine educational institutions in the way that I'm seeing it being done, it is going to create a ripple effect in our society. Now, you know, the old adage is that rules are rules, and you know, rules must have a particular purpose, and I agree with all of that.
Good.
However, if it is that an individual, we can't get to a point where somebody decides not to obey a rule because they suddenly just don't like them. Yeah, it doesn't work like that in society.
Change the rules in the middle of the game. You can't do that.
Yeah, you don't do that. I mean, many of us we drive in our 50-mile zone, our 50-kilometer zone, and we are not even recognizing that we are at 50 kilometers. Good. The police steps out on us and pulls us over. What do we say? The 50-kilometer too slow?
So
you understand what I'm
I understand you clearly, President Malava. So you're saying as a president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, you're essentially standing by your teachers in terms of obeying or carry out the laws that obtained, and they are very clear there, in your opinion, based on the Board of Governance for our schools.
Yeah, they are clear, they are written, they are structured. You know, and I'll go further. One of the things that you will find in many of our institutions, especially at the high school, is that when parents are coming to register, parents will get a form.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, that form goes along the line of, you know, we have read the school rules, and we agree that our child should obey the school rules, and we are willing to accept whatever sanctions that are applied if my child disobeys the school.
You know, Mr. Malava, I chuckle because those rules are as old as I am. I recall.
Yes. Yes. And the parents would have signed to these to this, to agree. And then the parents know the rules, the child know the rules, the child turns up breaking the rules, and then what you find is that, you know, we are in this.
Madam Producer, your hand seems to have touched something I'm not hearing. No, the board. I'm not hearing. Mr. Malavo?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, so it's dangerous
Yes.
precedents that we're setting. As long as these rules are not in breach of one's constitutional rights, then we do not we can't seek to undermine the institutions. Yeah.
Yes.
If it is that dress code and grooming, and let me say this.
I don't know, Mr. Malava, President Malava, your voice went down a bit. I don't know if you had changed your position or so, but your voice.
I did. You hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm hearing it. Just that you sunk a bit.
I was making the point that there are many institutions that are out there that have different and varying rules. Yeah. If it is that a parent believes, for example, that they want their child to wear their hair a particular way, if it is that the parent believes that they want their child to wear their pants a particular way, then by all means send your child to those institutions that have those rules, that does not have those rules in place, or are liberal in terms of the rules. Send your child there.
Yes.
We cannot, I repeat, O'Brien, we cannot get to a point where we undermine the institutions. And I will go further. There are ways, one of the fundamental rules of education is socializing students to operate within a democratic society.
Indeed.
As people like John Dewey would have highlighted, how to operate in a democratic society. If a child or a parent has a problem with the rule, then what they should do is to utilize the channels that are available to them.
The democratic process.
Yeah, the democratic process. Go to the PTA meetings. Yeah, get up in the PTA meetings and speak to the rules. Yeah, get the parents to lobby the school's administration and by extension the board of management to change the rules. Same thing applies for student council.
I'm going to take you for a couple more minutes on the other side, President Malava, but I want you to bear this in mind. Maybe you can give me a one-liner and then we pick up. What obtains now by way of the rules in the public schools is the same scenario governs private school, because under the broad ambit, similarly, you would have interest in teachers who may not be members of JTA, where you have interest in them nonetheless because they're a member of the profession, so to speak. What obtains there by way of the private institution? Hold those answers for me. I'll come back to you. Let's take the break. Let's take the 10:30 break. You're listening to Straight Up right here at News Talk 93 FM. With yours truly, Conrad OBrian Fireman. We are engaged in our riveting discussion with the president of the JTA, Mr. Mark Malava. Suka.
News Talk 93 FM. Heard everywhere. The time on News Talk 93 FM is 10:30. Contact News Talk 93 FM today via phone at 876-927-1660, extension 2475, or 876-427-9955. Email us at newstalk93fmsales@gmail.com. Visit our website at www.newstalk93fm.net.
Property owners, pay your property tax arrears now. Visit your nearest tax office, Linstead Old Harbor and Spanish Town. Pay by cash, debit, or credit card. And take your TRN if you're paying by check. Property tax pays for street lights, garbage collection and disposal, parochial road rehabilitation, and beautification. Contact your tax office or the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation at 876-984-3111 or 984-3112. Avoid legal actions. Pay your property taxes now.
News Talk 93 FM now provides a reminder to ensure your safety in the event of a hurricane this season.
During a hurricane,
if the house shows signs of breaking up, stay under a table or stand in a sturdy closet. Be prepared for material falling from the ceiling. If your glass windows have not been boarded up, place a large, heavy object in front of the window to protect yourself and others from splintering glass. If you're in a two-story house, stay on the first floor. If you're in a multiple story building, take refuge on the first or second floor. Interior stairwells and areas around elevator shafts are usually the strongest part of a building.
That was a reminder for precautionary measures to ensure your safety in the event of a hurricane this season.
Are you looking for exceptional dental care? Then look no further, because Wellington Dental is here to serve you. We offer dental care for both adults and children. At Wellington Dental, we know that a visit to the dentist might be mind-boggling, but don't let that stop you from getting the dental care you need. We have trained therapists to help alleviate your anxiety and make you feel so relaxed. You feel like you're at home. Wellington Dental, located at 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. We look forward to serving you.
To participate on our programs, call, WhatsApp, or text us at 876-212-9824 or 876-462-0919. And go follow us on Instagram at Newstalk93FM. The following hour is brought to you by Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Wellington Dental, providing dental care at its best.
Welcome back to Straight Up right here and News Talk 93 FM. We're into a very, very interesting discussion with the 61st President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Mr. Mark Malavo, who is also the president of the principal, as some people say, of the Yallas High School. Sharing his perspective as it relates to the dress code and so on. Of course, we started the discussion with he highlighted some things as to how his school is doing and basically coming up the value chain, so to speak. Mr. Malava, thanks for holding, sir. President Malava?
Hi, yes, I'm here. Sorry about that.
Yes, no problem. Sir, so I'd ask you those questions about what obtained with the private institution. Are they covered, some captured somewhat under the broad regulation as you have just spoken to?
Yes, they are also essentially covered under the regulations.
All right. So Mr. Malavo, recently we heard about, and I opined earlier as to my personal view, right? I'm a stickler for law, for rules rather, and certainly law, but I in the main agree with all that you said about the whole business of our students and our society as a whole adhere to rules and regulation and so on. But certainly we heard from time to time, or hear from time to time, that our students are basically shut out of school, and indeed that must be concerning and dangerous, because here it is, our students would have lived home in the main, parents not there. You have young ladies, young girls, and boys as well, who are very vulnerable. What say you on that from the JTA standpoint? Is that a breach, or that is also captured on? How should that be handled?
Well, the Ministry of Education has a policy as it relates to lockout. That's what the policy is at the Ministry of Education. My investigation, and every time that I see these things coming up in the public domain, I would, from time to time, reach out to our principals to just ascertain what is happening. And what I can say is that even those matters that raised themselves earlier this year, it is a far cry from what really happened on the ground. Yeah. Students are not locked out of institutions. In many instances, what you see is that students decide to stay outside of the institution because of rejection. Yeah, that's what I'm finding in many instances. What I will also say though, and I have heard, certain pronouncements, and I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm just saying that when I did my investigation, that is what I found. Students were out there for different reasons, and not necessarily that they were locked out, quote unquote. What I would also say is that, there is a direct correlation, O'Brien, between students who commit breaches in terms of dress code and grooming, and students who go on to commit other breaches of the rules in terms of maladaptive behavior. There's also a direct correlation between those students who breach the rules and students who do an academic performance. So we need to get to a point where we create an environment where our students understand that they must operate within the parameters of the rules that govern the institutions. Because ultimately it is preparing them for the world at work. And I want to give you and also we must be mindful that some of these things create problems in institutions. I'll give you an example. You remember some time ago, a boy was badly beaten because he accidentally stepped on a class.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
There are some things that create a distraction from teaching and learning in schools. And believe it or not, class is one of them. There are many principals who will tell you many stories about how clerks have ended up causing fights in institutions. Yeah? There are many principals and teachers who will tell you those stories. And some of these things are a distraction. There are many instances where students congregate in the bathroom because they want to clean their class and they want to look a particular way. And I have heard of stories as well where because of a hairstyle, it causes a fight. It causes a fight. I have seen where students congregate in bathrooms in many instances to clean their class, and they use a product on it, battery lead. They open up car batteries and they use these things to clean their class, make it blacken their class. It leaves a mess on the floor, it leaves a mess in the classroom. And you know that battery lead is something that is hazardous to one's health. Here comes the members of the ancillary staff that has to now interact with that in order to clean it. Yeah. So there are some of these things that create not only a distraction, but a health hazard. Yeah. And as principals, as members of the schools administration, we have to step in and treat with these things. I made no bones about it. I brought a matter to my board, and in order to say to parents, black clerks or black suede shoes are not allowed in the institution because of some of those things. Yeah. And many principals struggle with these things as well. There are some things that are a distraction and causes disruption in the schools and takes away from teaching and learning. And that is why there's a need for uniformity across the board. And what I will say is that an individual right to express themselves in whatever format they want to cannot trump institutional values and norms.
All right. So all in all, let's now dovetail that into the baby hair scenario. I know you did not address it front on because you say you don't want to kind of nitpick. You're looking at overall, but how you talk about for the young men with the clerks and so on, and you take a decision there. What happens with this baby hair? Is it that you find it to be the similar distraction where our young ladies will be attending the bathrooms and maybe a little bit too free? Speak to us about that.
Well, the principals have to make those decisions on the ground. The principals are essentially deemed as the CEO of the institutions. They will have to look at it and then they will have to take the necessary action by taking the matter to their board of management. If it is that the principal recognizes, or the institution and schools administration recognizes that there are some things that are causing a disruption, then they have to treat with that. My understanding with that situation, for example, is that long in advance, students were aware that this thing was coming. Long in advance, parents were aware that this thing was coming, that the matter was discussed extensively at PTA meetings, and there was an agreement on the way forward as to how these things would be treated. So, but here come a couple of individuals, and I call them the loud minority. I refer to them as the loud minority. Here they come now, you know, waving the flag of and preaching injustice. You know, and sometimes
flag before the bull.
Yeah, man, and preaching and saying, you know, injustice and all these things. And here's where I'm at as well, because there's another narrative that is out there about, you know, it's our Africanness and you know, our African culture that is being stifled, and it's tantamount to
that would be more with the natural here.
Yeah, but we must never confuse Afrocentric culture with Afro-American culture.
Indeed.
Yeah, because there's a difference between the two.
Absolutely.
Culture is informed by one's Africanness. Yeah. African American dress code and culture is informed primarily by American culture that influences Black culture, which is not necessarily African culture. So let's get that straight. Yeah. Even, you know, there are rules even known in hell. You know?
Yeah, I want to move quickly, President Malav, because this is certainly right smack dab in the middle of your domain now, you know, with the body that you represent, your teachers. Right? I want to tell you a little bit on the salary issue there and so on, how that going. But before I go there, let's close out on the dress code, because do you have any issues from the JTA point of view, and even as a principal, even as to the kind of message that may be sending by our teachers in terms of how they themselves care themselves? How they care themselves.
Yeah, well, you know, the teaching profession is a conservative profession, but it's the nature of it, and we have to set example for our students. Again, the board of management is in charge of the institution. They set the parameters as to dress code and grooming across the board. I know, for example, that there is a policy at the Ministry of Education that would have been shared with many boards as to what the policy as to what the dress code should look like, and these policies have informed many boards in terms of dress code and grooming for teachers. You know, so rules are rules, and it apply right across the board. Teachers are expected to dress a particular way, to wear their clothes a particular way, and because at the end of the day they set examples for the students that are in front of them.
Is there a general code there by the Board of Governors and by extension the Ministry of Education that teachers should abide by?
Well, I am aware that there has been a bulletin some time ago that came out of the Ministry of Education as it relates to dress for our teachers. I'm also aware that many institutions would have used this policy to guide exactly how it is that they treat with dress code of our teachers in terms of setting the parameters and the rules. Yeah,
I think there are questions that I get coming in, but I'll let me see if I can bring up at least one here. Let's see what's coming in. My listeners, I'm wondering if you should. Oh, sorry, that's all right. While I understand that there has to be some control over the way the children go to school. But I think that there needs to be a revision of those rules, right? And which are currently in effect in order to be more in tune with the times. All right. And what there are a lot of other things that are coming in.
I think I answered that earlier, that you know that there are avenues through which stakeholders of the institution can utilize and should utilize to have a review of these rules. You know, I understand the need that over time a rule might not be relevant. Where I am at, though, is that those avenues should be utilized through a democratic process to have those rules changed.
Good. Well, there's this definite question that one of my listeners said. Can you ask him why are they not spanking in school in today's world? I guess we kind of know the answer there. But go ahead, answer.
Well, you know, corporal punishment is we're at a point now in our society again. When you look at it, an evolution of society where research seems to be suggesting that corporal punishment is doing far more harm than good these days, and as such, you know, that is there. The Ministry of Education has moved to the I've gotten to the point where they believe that corporal punishment should be banned in our schools, and that's where that is.
All right. Let's see if I can decipher this. Another caller is saying that the person who attacked the one who stepped on the clerks or cleaning clerks is the one to be disciplined by making this rule against clerks, is telling those persons that clerks are righteous properties and must be expected. I think that's what the person is saying here. All right.
Okay, I think I understand what the person is asking. Here's where I'm at. If you know, if the thing is such a big distraction in our institutions, for example, where a student is frowned on because he's not wearing a Clarks, for example, where a Clarks is something that is glorified in our schools and in our society, that if you're not wearing it, you're not saying anything. Then you know, and it distracts from teaching and learning. Then it is something that requires looking at. It is something that requires looking at, and quite frankly, if you can buy a Clarks, you can buy other shoes that are just as durable, that are cheaper.
All right, good. As we wrap, Mr. Malava, recently, days or so, you know, weeks before the recently concluded general election, you know, of course, the government offered, well, months before, they offered a 0% to our teachers and our teachers. And indeed, you know, you scoffed at it and said that it didn't even write, you wrote the paper it was written on. You went on to say some other things, but I leave it right there. And, and you know, you later walked out of a meeting with the ministry, or is it Ministry of Finance or so on, later on in the piece, leading more into the election and so on, you know, maybe the government were trying to curry favor to get the teachers on their side. They return to the drawing board, they offer 2%. Where are we now? Is the teacher accepting this 2%? Is there still a stalemate?
Well, there was a stalemate. So I think I need to give a little bit of
By the way, hold on, Mr. Malava. This is really an extensive exclusive that we're having here with Mr. Malava, the president, the 61st president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, with yours truly, Conrad OBrian, the fireman, right here at News 93 FM. You don't get this kind of exclusive and elaborate discussion anywhere else. So stick and stay with us. Go ahead, sir.
Mm-hmm. I think I need to give a little bit of background. Negotiations would have started from last year, so as early as November. So what would have happened? Through joint conference, an agreement was signed with the then Minister of Finance, Dr. Clark, that unions would submit their list of claims by November, and that the negotiations would wrap up by March. We honored that agreement in terms of submitting our list of claims by November. When we saw that the time was winding, what was going down, we started to press the Ministry of Finance so that we could be engaged. Mm-hmm. Eventually the ministry decided to engage us. We submitted. We went through what was known as a clarification meeting. I think we had 2 appeal meetings, mm-hmm, in which we went through our 27 items and explained what it is that we want. Then after that, the government submitted to us an offer. That offer included the 0%, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5 over 4 years. Mm-hmm. We rejected that, and we wrote to the government that is being outrightly rejected. We returned to the negotiation table, and we had 2 subsequent rounds of discussion around our items. Subsequent to that, after that, those 2 meetings, we were promised that we would have gotten an improved offer. Mm-hmm. And within 4 to 6 weeks' time, by this point in time, almost over a month had passed at the end of that 6-week deadline, and we still did not hear anything from the government. This was coming down to be about July. Mm-hmm. We wrote 3 letters to the Ministry of Finance indicating to them that we wanted to advance negotiations, because at this point in time, it was coming up to our annual conference, and it is customary that whenever the negotiations are underway, that we would normally take an offer to our annual conference, mm-hmm, for discussion. So we wrote 3 letters to the Ministry of Finance pressing for a meeting to advance negotiations. That the minister agreed to have a meeting. I think that would have been the 14th or the 15th. That was a Friday. That would have been the 15th. When we went to that meeting, no new offer was forthcoming. The minister indicated at the time that it really was the negotiation meeting. And the team decided that we weren't prepared to sit in that meeting any longer, if it is that the posture of the Ministry of Finance is that it's not a negotiation meeting. Mm-hmm. So we walked out, mm-hmm, and indicated to the ministry that we were demanding a new offer by the 17th of August.
The 17th of August.
By the 17th of August.
And that's when and that's when the 2% came?
No, the 2% didn't come at the 17th of August. The 2% came a week after. So there were a lot of discussions, a lot of a lot of what would I say, posturing, and engagement. Mm-hmm. Then we wrote back to the ministry to say to them that we are not in a position to guarantee normalcy. Because we were promised a new offer, and that's not forthcoming.
Good. So
the minister indicated to us that she's prepared to have a meeting. We went to the meeting with the negotiation team, and they presented a new offer to us. The deliberations were lengthy, and we asked that they put the matter in writing. Mm-hmm. And we indicated to them that we indicated that if it comes in writing, then we would have brought the matter to our action committee, because the annual conference instructed that the action committee be convened.
Good. So
to treat the matter.
So
we have since received, I was saying we have since received a new offer that we have responded to the Ministry of Education, but in no way, shape, or form is this remotely close to what it is that we would like to see our teachers get.
Of course, you know, as Conrad OBrian here, the fireman, right here in News Talk 93 FM. So we always dig deep for a scoop. Can you give me a scoop as to what that offer looks like?
Well, it's in the initial phase. It's what is in the public domain. 2% in year one, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5.
So hard to move the needle, eh?
Well, yes, but the needle has moved nonetheless. Bear in mind that we were the only union to get a new offer at that point in time. However, it's nowhere near.
What is the minimum? What is the basic that you would think that would basically, you know, help to basically ink that deal? Are you prepared to say here?
No, I'm not prepared to say here. It's not for public consumption.
Not for public consumption.
Yeah. But we are clear in our mind what it is.
Good.
We have looked at one of the things that we did differently this year is that we have, you know, looked at the various reports that are out there. There's what is known as the Ernst & Young report that guided the restructuring exercise. There is the Patterson report, for example. There's the IDB, the 2021 IDB report on education, and recently there's the CAPRA report.
President Malava, time is up and I have to wrap, but I have to close out with this. At your annual conference, after you spoke, the Minister of Education, Dr. Morris Dixon, she rose and she described your speech as a performance. Former JTA boss, Georgia War Richards, who is now an executive within the JTA, she rose and she basically, you know, asked the minister to reconsider that. Of course, the minister basically, you know, weren't going there, but afterwards she recanted when more and more of your delegates basically threw their support behind War Richards, you know, and the minister certainly recanted. How is the relationship with the JTA and indeed the minister and by extension the Ministry of Education?
We have a very cordial relationship with the minister and with the Ministry of Education. We do have monthly meetings with the minister. The minister, her posture is one of doing her well, accommodating to us whenever we speak.
How did she get it so wrong at the conference to basically describe your presentation in that manner so much that she got the wrath of your delegates?
Well, you'll have to ask her when you see her. But the truth is that we do engage the ministry on a monthly basis. She is accessible to us.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Malava. I have to leave it there. Of course, we have this is an extensive discussion with the president of the JTA, Mr. Mark Malava. Let's go to the break. So come.
The preceding hour was brought to you by Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Wellington Dental, providing dental care at its best.
Still 93 FM. Heard everywhere. The time on News Talk 93 FM is 11 o'clock. Contact News Talk 93 FM today via phone at 876-927-1660, extension 2475, or 876-427-9955. Email us at newstalk93fmsales@gmail.com. Visit our website at www.newstalk93fm.net.
This is Eric Glass. On This American Life, we like stories that surprise you. For instance, imagine finding a new hobby and realizing
to do this hobby right, according to the ways of the masters, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to have to bend the law to get the materials that you need.
If not break it.
Yeah, to break international laws.
Your life stories, really good ones. This American Life.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. President Trump is addressing the United Nations General Assembly in New York. He has spent much of his remarks highlighting his own work, insisting he has solved several world conflicts, although that is not clear. But he also says, unlike himself, the UN has done little to solve the same conflicts.
What is the purpose of the United Nations? The UN has such tremendous potential. I've always said it. It has such tremendous potential, but it's not even coming close to living up to that potential.
Trump spoke about denouncing illegal migration and blamed India and China for purchasing Russian oil. He says Europe must stop purchasing Russian energy too. He says they're helping fund the war in Ukraine. Trump denounced efforts to recognize a Palestinian state. He also said the U.S. will lead an international effort to enforce a world agreement to limit biological weapons. Trump is also calling climate change, quote, the greatest con job. Trump is rejecting green energy efforts. As senior diplomats gather for the UN General Assembly, the Secret Service says it shut down a network of devices that could have been used to spy on or disrupt communications. NPR's Jenna McLaughlin has more.
High-profile meetings of world leaders are extremely attractive targets for espionage. So it's no surprise the U.S. Secret Service uncovered a network of more than 300 servers and 100,000 SIM cards in New York City in the days leading up to the 80th UN General Assembly. According to the Secret Service, those devices could have enabled bad actors to shut down communication networks in the area or to spy on the session. Matt McCool is the special agent in charge of the Washington field office. He made brief remarks in a video message.
This announcement is designed to safeguard critical infrastructure and responsibly provide the public what we can at this time.
He said the investigation already uncovered a potential foreign actor involved. Jen McLaughlin, NPR News.
Opening arguments are expected today in the federal government's case against big tech company Amazon. The Federal Trade Commission alleges Amazon manipulated millions of customers into signing up for its Prime membership and then made it really hard to cancel. NPR's Lena Selyuk reports the trial is in Amazon's hometown, Seattle.
The lawsuit marks one of the biggest federal cases against one of the world's largest companies, and somewhat unusual for a dense antitrust case. A jury will determine whether Amazon broke the law. Note that Amazon is among NPR's financial supporters. The FTC says Amazon illegally used what are known as dark patterns, quote, manipulative design elements that trick people into signing up for Prime. And then the FTC says Amazon made people jump through too many hoops if they wanted to cancel. The company denies any wrongdoing. NPR News.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up about 200 points. The NASDAQ is down 80. This is NPR. A new U.S.-based joint venture is proposing to take control of the video sharing app TikTok under a deal being negotiated with China. The venture will be able to retrain TikTok's content algorithm using U.S. data. The White House says the algorithm was a tough point of negotiation that needed to meet requirements of U.S. and Chinese law. TikTok faced a ban in the U.S. over security concerns. China's southern coast is bracing for the landfall of a super typhoon. Schools and workplaces across the region are closed. Ashish Valentine has more from Taipei, Taiwan.
Videos on Chinese social media show customers complaining because grocery store shelves were empty of vegetables and other ingredients. The mega cities of Hong Kong, Ragasa approaches. Hong Kong's airport is suspending hundreds of flights. Ragasa already passed Taiwan and made landfall in the Philippines, causing multiple casualties and displacing thousands. The storm will bring powerful winds and heavy rainfall to millions of people in China and Southeast Asia. For NPR News, I'm Ashish Valentine in Taipei.
A Seattle seafood distributor has recalled more cooked and frozen shrimp sold at Kroger grocery stores in the U.S. because of concerns about potential radioactive contamination. Aquastar Corporation has recalled nearly 160,000 pounds of shrimp because of possible contamination with a radioactive isotope. Again, on Wall Street, the Dow was up about 200 points. This is NPR.
On the plus side, you get sponsor-free listening to over 25 NPR podcasts. On the minus side, you get fewer chances to tap fast forward on your podcast player. On the plus side, you get to support something you care about. On the minus side, you like challenges and think this makes it too easy. So why don't you join us on the plus side of things with NPR Plus? Learn more and sign up at plus.npr.org.
Hands down, we manufacture custom-made clothes and shoes. For the best quality in uniform, corporate wear, safety, and school shoes, visit Kenmore Shoe Manufacturing Company Limited. Kenmore, the best for sure. Call us today at 876-632-8018. Email us at ken_mor2005@gmail.com. Kenmore, the best for sure.
Property owners, pay your property tax arrears now. Visit your nearest tax office, Linstead, Old Harbor, and Spanish Town. Pay by cash, debit, or credit card, and take your TRN if you're paying by check. Property tax pays for street lights, garbage collection and disposal, parochial road rehabilitation, and beautification. Contact your tax office or the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation at 876-984-3111 or 984-3112. Avoid legal actions. Pay your property taxes now.
It's the Rock with Steve J. Steve J. You're in Jamaica, chilling. You got to tune in to the Real Rock with Steve J. Single Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m. on YouTube.
Do you love games,
riddles,
trivia,
giveaways,
prizes,
and surprises?
Well, tune in to the most exciting game show
On your radio.
Fantastic Fridays.
Call in to answer questions.
Challenge a friend in a rivals battle.
Join the discussion on Talk the Thing with Kim.
Listen up for the hottest songs with MV's Top 3.
Let's have some fun and win big
prizes.
Listen every Friday,
5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
on News Talk 93 FM.
Straight Up with host Conrad OBrian live from the studios of News Talk 93 FM. Comes to Fit FM 96.7 Chiloni's Radio, Mondays 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. With fireman Conrad OBrian on Straight Up live from the studios of News Talk 93 FM and simulcast on Fit FM 96.7, FitFMJ8.com, Chiloni's Radio, Fit FM, your life, your music.
News Talk 93 FM. Heard everywhere.
This hour is brought to you by Kenmore Manufacturing Company Limited, Greendale, Spanish Town, manufacturing industrial and corporate uniform and shoes.
Would you be Don't let them fool you. Or even try to school you. We've got a microphone. So go ahead, give what you think you can Love will never leave us alone. It's a fact we must come out tonight.
Right here at News Talk 93 FM. Thanks for staying with us. You're in tune to Straight Up with yours truly, Conrad OBrian, the fireman. We speak truth to power right here, and we give it to you undiluted as the fireman burns. Remember that we're also up on the Straight Up with Conrad YouTube channel, and indeed, you can download the News Talk 93 FM app and take us with you, make us your daily companion. This is the place to be. News Talk 93 FM. I want to say hi to Richard and the team who are here doing some work right here and the building as we continue to build out the station for you and yours. Invite all you know to come on board because this is the place to be. 93 FM. All right. Hello. Welcome, caller.
Good morning, Conrad.
Hey, John. How you doing, man?
A couple things here, Conrad. I see the families are going to the United Nations this morning.
Yes.
I wonder which journalist in Jamaica where I asked him about the vote. They allow Mr. Abbas to address the United Nations. I want to know who will ask him why Jamaica never vote.
Well, you know, if I was there, I would, John.
Because the things, you know, we don't know. Yeah, one or two journalists in Jamaica what are that part of the bought journalists. The young people are buy journalists. They have been bought, lock, stock, and barrel by the government. Because they want to go to the functions. Yes, they want the invitations to go to the functions. So they will not ask certain questions. But I know man like you and Simon Castile. They're free because
and certainly that's a basic question, you know, John, because you know it's you see what happened. Jamaica is known to punch at a particular weight internationally. So these are questions that you know you'll describe as A, B, C, 1, 2, or 3 questions. So I'm hoping that you know whether there or here, the Prime Minister and certainly the government will have that question put to them.
Two things. I remember during the election campaign, Mrs. Juliet Cuthbert Flynn went up to she wanted to keep a meeting in Brannan Hill. And when she went there, you know, the people the boys were against her and said they must leave and Ray.
Yes.
She told the people that they must live up there like mongoose. I said, I'm fixing a road up there. When I drive up there, my brother, and the bush almost covered the road, and the road is so narrow because of the overgrown.
So you never afraid my mangoes dry out?
And the roads are in a deplorable condition. And I'm sure she gets money to do road repair, to deep pushing that thing like this. And Ms. Cuthbert Flynn believes that because she don't get a vote in that area, just want to serve the people.
And you know, John.
There's a road they call a year and a half ago. I rode broke off they call it up a mountain, Blasham or something like that. And she went there one time. The councillor Christian Richards went there, and the people make a makeshift here that them can come out of the community. And they put in some pipe, the main pipe they broke off. I put some pipe, and she was complaining about the pipe. So I said it was the water commission of the authority to run water. When the water commission not going up there, and she's an advocate for the people, let me tell you something, man. Sometime, you know, we'll get a government, we'll vote for to complain. But me to complain because I never vote for this government. So I have to complain. But when I say something again, the part program, Mr. Colonel Charles Jr.
Yes.
That is something. You see, in another part of the government right now, we have to look at open two of them. And hopefully, they will do something.
Who are the two?
Colonel Charles Jr. And the young lady from Manchester. We don't want to lose still, you know.
Oh, that's Rhoda.
Rhoda, but she's not lose. She's not lose. She's a member as a part of the cabinet now. Two things more.
She's not a member of the cabinet. She's a member of the executive, not cabinet.
Yeah, what I want, what I ask you to do not abandon David Crawford's and the PMP's proposal of the extra 2 hours for students in need. Don't abandon it.
I want
the teachers who will be working, pay them, because that was what David Crawford was proposing. Pay them and get students who are down
to
come up. It was 2 extra hours.
Yes.
Because it didn't make a great difference.
All right.
I'm the Colonel Charles Jr. now.
Yes.
He spoke about the part program when we went to do for the part program. The part program come out of the food stamp bill. Because they give people food stamp.
Yes.
And people say, no, people need more than food stamp. You need more people with health for the school and things like this. They bring the part program. A lot of people in the part program are there for political reward. We need the PNP man was saying that if we had formed the government, what we were going to do, it was going to make sure our scholarships, the youngsters who are interested in social work. And in Jamaica, we had 3 years also doing social work. We need to employ more social workers, send them out in the field. Because me at my station, people apply the part that cheer. Well needed and can get it.
Well, not just other station, right here. People tell us about the whole system. And some of them because having some basic thing they're unable to get onto the program. Thanks a lot, John. All right, so let's continue to take the calls and hello, welcome caller.
Mr. O'Brien.
Hey, how are you doing, sir?
This is one more one. You'll finish it. One more one. So?
all right, my friend. St. Catherine South. Well, go on. Talk to me.
Tell Mr. John here what he and Mark Bowden proposing is all through the windows.
No. Hold on. Not true. Not true. First thing to begin with, the first thing that Mr. Holness talked about in his presentation, he's thrown in, is one of the centerpiece of the People's National Party's manifesto, that of the orange economy, right, which is about the culture and creative sector. That is where he said that he is going to try to get some growth from, and that was the centerpiece. So, and you should not say it should be through the window, because what John raised just now is indeed an excellent situation where he talked about the 2-hour additional teaching and learning time for our students who need. No, man, listen, hold on, sir, please. For heaven's sake, let us make sense. If there are proposals, irrespective of what person is going to say, well, they copy this and so on. If there are proposals that make sense and the government deems it fit to put them in place.
We don't need.
All right. Make your point. Because I mean, this kind of tribal foolishness that you're coming with does not make sense.
It's just to put us in the bottom of the pit where they are.
Sir, are you aware that the whole thing of highway, that Ring Road Jamaica, that's something that comes from the PNP? Are you aware that the PATH program that so many people benefit from, the Tourism Enhancement Fund, the Drug for the Elderly program, and we could go on and on and on and on. You know that all of those things were developed by the People's National Party, the housing trust that developed the community that you live in now. Are you aware? So you must stop that nonsense, man.
Relax.
I am very relaxed, sir. But what happened when you come on my program and talk nonsense? A sensible program is the intelligent reason we have there.
Come on and tell me a lot of lies. But it's not true. Why you did not correct it?
All right, go ahead, my friend.
Anyway, we don't need. Look at the eyes. For instance, Mark will lost.
Hello? Yes, you said Mark Golden what?
Lost 3 elections. Is that a
no, I'm not aware.
All right.
I don't know what is that. Caller, you can steady your thing. You're coming in and out. I don't know what's going on there. What election are you talking about? Which 3 elections?
It's the 2024 election.
Which one? The local government election you're talking about? No, not at all. Not at all. No, hold on, sir. Hold on, sir. Please, hold on. No, you come and spread forward. No. Well, listen. You know who am I? I'm a sensible person. And what happened? Hold on, sir. Hold on. Both parties came out with 7 mayors. The PNP has. Hold on, sir. No to what? What are you saying no to?
Look here.
No, I'm asking you, what are you saying no to?
Former is a direct election mayor.
I am saying to you that both parties came out with 7 mayors. Is that so?
Yes, but
and the PNP came out with more councillors than the JLP. So how do you come to that?
And the JLP came out with more councillors.
No, not true.
75.
All right.
Let me say something to it, because you're not giving me a chance to do that. 7-5, one tie.
People are listening. Go ahead.
Yes, 7. The JLP got 7 council, 1 tie that went to the PNP because they have the majority, the popular vote and things like that, and one near the former mayor is a direct elected thing.
Are you aware that even right now, the Clarendon Municipal Corporation tie, but the PNP has the plurality of vote down there? The majority? Are you aware?
What happened? Because there was a mayor in place there.
No, I'm asking you, are you aware of that?
Yes, I am.
Had it been different, that would also be another mayor that would have gone to the PNP. Politically, I have to speak truth to power.
Mr. O'Brien.
But let's move on, because we have a lot of callers holding. Just make the final point, please. All right?
You said the final point.
Yeah, man, move to the final one.
Tell me how long the people have been voting for?
For what?
The people have been voting for the PNP in Brandon Hill there. It's just in 2016 or what? Or something like that.
No.
So why are John is coming with bad roads and this and that and that and all of those?
No, hold on, man. Hold on. If you have communities that have bad road for 10 years now,
not 10 years. No, from for the past 30 years.
I am saying that it's the 10 years now. And I forget, listen, if we're serious about Jamaica, sir, we have to have some serious discussion in. And if a government is in office for 10 years and the people can't basically hold that government to accountability and to say, listen, we need to have this done and that done, then if we have problem with those things in us, they'll really eat us up, you know. No matter of breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Mr. O'Brien, the PNP has lost 4 straight elections from 2016 right now. And can't win one. 4 straight elections.
And as a result of that, they should not ask for the road condition.
You are putting that in my mouth. The people of Jamaica have rejected the PNP. The PNP is just used people.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. One thing though, the people in your constituency really love Fitz.
Well, I tell you, him always been on the party, man. Fitz Jackson always been on the default.
All right. So the 4,000 plus is default.
The more than how much do you get?
The 4,000 plus that he won by. 4,000 plus he won.
No, man. All of that. Actually, this 10,000 is by default. None of them should be voting for Fitz Jackson.
All right.
Mr. O'Brien, I need for you to come in the place and look.
I come put more very regularly, sir. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
I'm going to leave my number with you. You call me in the car. We're taking it.
Thanks a lot, my friend. All right. Good.
All right. No
all the best. All right. So that's Mr. South and Catherine there. Really steep in the tribal politics. Wish we could get rid of some of it. Hello. Welcome, caller.
Morning, sir.
I'm still with you.
I just want to touch a few points.
Go ahead.
The ragging system at school.
That is what we call the grubbing.
Right, ragging. We call it ragging.
Yeah, man. That's ragging and grubbing.
I think it's affecting.
You know your grub pledge?
No, sir. I remember.
Grub is a water pestilence.
I was again
accidentally hatched by the heat of the sun. A grub can be seen here, there, and everywhere, and at the same time he is nowhere. That is the grub pledge part of it. Still remember it.
Yeah, you know, I never rag a person. Never involved in it. So they need to cut out that because two students so far, they have committed suicide. Yeah, that committed suicide is because of ragging, you know. Yeah, so far, yeah. One of them even wrote a note saying he's sick and tired of the ragging, you know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing, you know. It's a terrible thing. The extra 2-hour thing. I don't know how this thing I was solved right now because I know of a big primary school and the grade 5 teachers got about 3 grade 5. They are saying that they're not gonna do any extra class, and if the two students are way behind.
First thing to begin with, Mr. Lewis, you see, and first thing to begin with, this thing must be put in perspective, and it is sad that our persons who seek to govern the country, basically some things that is for the good, for the better of our people, whether your parents are PNP or JLP or whatever, there are some things that are good for the country. This proposal that put forward by Damien Crawford and the PNP, as I understand it, it's an excellent proposal. What is it? What is it? It is to say that teachers who are interested The students who are found wanted, that means that as they are describing, they are below performance, below where they should be. There will be a provision for those teachers to basically assist these students for 2 additional hours. They will pay for it, and it is not compulsory. It's not that a teacher is mandated to do it. It is teachers who decide that, yes, we want to do this. We'll be making extra money here, and they will be adding to the development of their pupils, sir. I don't know that something is wrong with that at all.
Yes, what happens in the system? Yeah, teachers, based on what is happening with the Ministry of Education, they stress out the teachers them so much that after 3:30, they just don't want to go extra hour.
And I understand that, because I tell you something.
Yeah,
I drove into a well-developed community in Jamaica, and to look for a friend who is a teacher. I think she is at the primary level. And you know what she said to me? She said to me, me go vote for Labour, because me not attending no classroom until 10 o'clock. The J-man want people for work until 12 o'clock at night. One teacher for work until 12 o'clock at night. That's the kind of, and it was particularly amazing and alarming to me hear that kind of sentiment coming from a teacher. Hold for me, Mr. Sir. I'll put you for 2 minutes. Hold for me for 2 minutes, sir, please.
Newstalk 93 everywhere. The time on Newstalk 93 FM is 11:30. Contact Newstalk 93 FM today via phone at 876-927-1660, extension 2475, or 876-427-9955. Email us at newstalk93fmsales@gmail.com, 93fm.net.
Are you looking for exceptional dental care? Then look no further, because Wellington Dental is here to serve you. We offer dental care for both adults and children. At Wellington Dental, we know that a visit to the dentist might be mind-boggling, but don't let that stop you from getting the dental care you need. We have trained therapists to help alleviate your anxiety and make you feel so relaxed you feel like you're at home. Wellington Dental, located at 50.
Kenmore Stroke Manufacturing Company Limited, located in Greendale, Spanish Town. We manufacture custom-made clothes and shoes. For the best quality in uniform, corporate wear, safety, and school shoes, visit Kenmore Shoe Manufacturing Company Limited. Kenmore, the best for sure. Call us today at 876-632-8018. Email us at Kenmore, the best for sure.
It's a minute every rubbish in a pan. No dirty up the place to stop you in Ireland. So keep Jamaica. Let me keep Jamaica clean. Make sure listen to me, please. No plastic, no beer, blowing at the breeze. Rubber cap, disposal, recycle plastic. Now make it pull up in the trees. It's a minute every rubbish in a pan. No dirty up the place to stop you in Ireland. So keep Jamaica. Let me
Companies, it's now in the heart of New Kingston to serve you better. At 31 Tobago Avenue, get Empire Stationery and Office Supplies, Empire Restaurant and Hotel Supplies, Empire Med and Scientific Supplies. Free same-day delivery on 1965-6 or WhatsApp 876-775-2277. Email empirestationery1@gmail.com.
Newstalk 93 FM now provides a reminder to ensure your safety in the event of a hurricane this season.
After a hurricane,
use
perishable food first, then non-perishable foods and staples after. Do not cook more than is needed for one meal. Immediately after the hurricane, don't use stored water for washing houses, cars, and watering gardens until normal water surfaces have been restored. Purify water by adding bleach. 2 drops of bleach purify all your water at once. After adding bleach, let water stand for 30 minutes before drinking. Boil all drinking water until you are sure that the safe water supply has been restored. Be sure to check your house for structural damage before moving back in. Bury all dead animals as soon as possible.
That was a reminder for precautionary measures to ensure your safety in the event of a hurricane this season.
Property owners, pay your property tax and Spanish Town. Pay by cash, debit, or credit card. And take your TRN if you're paying by check. Property tax phase 4. Street lights, garbage collection and disposal, parochial road rehabilitation and beautification. Contact your tax office or the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation at 876-984-3111 or 984-3112. Avoid legal actions. Pay your property taxes now.
Organic waste should not go into your bin. Start a compost with your organic waste in a cool or shaded area in your backyard. This waste management tip is brought to you by the NSWMA, One Jamaica. Make we clean up the place.
You know the voices. Now we live the moments. The university has a role to play other than what it does on the campus.
This is something and an idea whose time has come.
You have to ask yourself what is taking place there.
Light rising from the west continues to burn brightly and with excitement.
93 FM presents Voices from the Archives. Weekdays at 12:30 p.m., Monday to Thursdays at 6 in the evening, and Sundays at 8 in the morning on News Talk 93 FM.
To participate on our programs, call, WhatsApp, or text us at 876-212-9824 or 876-462-0919. And go follow us on Instagram at NewsTalk93FM.
This hour is brought to you by Kenmore Manufacturing Company Limited, Greendale, Spanish Town, manufacturing industrial and corporate uniform and shoes.
News Talk 93 FM. Heard everywhere.
Welcome back. We are in the final few minutes of the program. Let me wrap with Mr. Lewis. I have some things to share in the papers and some caller. Welcome back,
Yes,
Mr. Lewis.
Yes, sir. I just want to move on to another topic, the UN. The president of Syria right now was part of ISIS and Al-Qaeda. And just a few months back, more than 100 million bounty was on his head. And right now, he's in the United States and he's down to give an address at the UN. That is just to show us that these leaders are hypocrites, you know. Have you heard about it?
Yes, I've heard about it. I plan to go into it more fulsomely tomorrow because I didn't, get my brief properly.
So they say at 1 minute they are the enemy of the United States and the UN, and then when they can't get to use you, they are now their friends. And you see what Israel can do? Can come in, overthrow your government, force you to do whatever they want you to do. The question is how long will all of this continue?
How long will the wicked reign?
Right. You was the right word. So I just move on.
Yes. Take care, Mr. Lewis. Blessings.
Yes, sir.
All right, good.
Yes.
Thanks a lot as usual. Okay, so we are getting some expression to share the link. So we have been doing it, all right. And there are some hi to Dr. Kingsley Chin, who is joining there. Lando, let's see what Lando is saying. Lando, a teacher talking that garbage is a disgrace, reference to the situation there. And also, someone is saying that Conrad, the new senator, Ramon Small Ferguson, and the PNP side is Dr. Fenton Ferguson's son. He is a brilliant lad. All right, thanks for that. Before I go to the caller there, Madam Producer, can I just mention? All right, let's go to the caller. Hello, caller. Don't want to miss caller.
Hello, good morning, Conrad.
Hey, hi, country. How are you? And country, just one second. You know, I'm a stickler for giving accurate information. I did say to South St. Catherine just now that fits one by over 4,000 votes, or about 4,000. I'm getting the information here through my producer that the number that fits one by is 3,055, Madam Producer. 3,055 votes. Big margin nonetheless. But I want to be accurate.
That is wonderful. And two quick points. Last week you talked with your former co-worker, Zelika.
Yes, Zelika, Jess.
Yeah, and he said something that is very important to politics.
Yes.
She said she have to move in a constituency, some places where MP never be seen. And when you check the PMP vote over the number of years, it was dropping rapidly each election. It dropped because of what? Lack of support from the councillor and the member of parliament. The grassroots support, Conrad. Them not visit the people. Them not go brush the people road. And that is lacking in the PMP unit. Okay. The next thing now, with the road up in Brandon Hill, call for a wider concern. The main road in each constituency is NWA road.
Yes.
The half road is the parish council road.
Which is now municipal corporations, yes?
Right. What the parish council is doing, what the councillors are doing.
Well, all right.
Councillors' responsibility.
All right. Let's put a little bit of things in perspective here. You see, and I carry no brief for politician, whether them that on JLP or PNP. I may have my political preference, but when it comes to basically dissecting and speaking the truth, I'm going to give it to you undiluted. Now, we have to understand, and it impacts councillors and also member of parliament and both sides of the divide. However, when your party is in office, you may get a little bit more reprieve than when you're out of office. And sometimes it also depends on who is at the helm of government, the heart that they have for the people. For example, I remember down there in Clarendon, that's road from Mineral Heights all the way to Lionel Town. And then from Maypen to Chapelton. Millions of dollars were spent on those roads under Portia Simsimila when she was Prime Minister. As a matter of fact, she came under quite a bit of attack and flack from her own, because what they're saying is that there were so many PNP roads or constituency that PNP was in that wanted road to be fixed, and she spent $1 billion on those roads in Mike Henry, Colonel Charles, and Roddy Spencer's constituency.
It cost her the election.
It did. But you see, one of the things, my friend, I think that's the way that we have to go. We should be going where we look at where the needs are. So the point I'm trying to make, however, is that, listen, you mentioned what happened to the councillors. The poor councillors, huh? The poor councillors. You have to be here in mind, you know, sir. A pittance then get, you know, and some of them get one road from time to time. It's not that they have the money there and they are reluctant of doing it. As a matter of fact, Norman Scott and other mayors will tell you, right, that they have been pleading to Minister Mackenzie to get some money to even clean their town. And it's like pulling teeth. It's not happening. So this is the kind of system that we have. We have a flawed system, sir, where you have to go MP and council has to go cap in hand to mayor, to minister, in order to get a little oil here, a little butter there, a little this, that, a little that for their people.
But hold on. You think the people up in Moko, the residents up in Moko know these things?
They don't.
It's the councillor to take it in the cities, in the town hall meeting and spoke to the residents.
Speak to them. I totally agree with you, and that is why I expect some amount of fireworks, as it were, in the parliament, you know. This new parliament, that people will bawl out and make it known that, listen, to their constituents, that, listen, we are here making the representation on your behalf, and this is what it is. Because if the people don't see you out there making the representation, then it's going to be punkas.
I hold Damian Crawford accountable, and I'm saying to him, get the organization in the constituency, get the RADA, the banks, the credit union banks, get the 4-H club, get them in the constituency, and get the people to come to the meeting, that everyone can know what this one want, what this one need. Because you have a lot of farmers in the constituency.
So you're saying that you're imploring MP Crawford to govern by consensus, listen to the needs of the people and so on, and that's what I gather, that quite a few of these MPs that I hear talk, they're saying that, listen, that's their mantra. They are not just going to be forcing something on the people.
The PC bank, yeah, and get them into a meeting, and people can get loan, people can get this, people can get, you know.
Well, certainly, you can basically guide them through the process. Of course, it's going to be, those things are going to be basically concluded at the base of those institutions, by way of by way of people meeting the requirement, because there are requirements that one has to meet in order to get these things out.
And finally, please, Mr. Crawford, get at the police youth club in the constituency.
All right, my friend Country. Certainly you have said your piece. I hope that Damien is listening, or certainly his surrogates there. One of your main supporter there, Country, the man out of Pennington, Lloydsville area there. He now resides somewhere in the United States of America, but he is very, very close as to what is happening here in his community, in his constituency down there in St. Catherine, now represented in the House by one Damian Crawford. All right, so we are indeed happy that people are there. I want to say good morning and hi to Chop up there in somewhere in Clarendon. He said he is tuned in, he is listening. Thanks for being on board, my friend. And let's see if there's any other message that I want to bring to you at this time. I want to say hi to Patrick, my brother Patrick O'Brien, and indeed his beautiful lady, Raquel, who they are also in tune. I want to say hi to Biggs as well, who is joining in. Camille over there at the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation. She works in the poor relief area there. And of course, Colin Bell is saying, me share it up already. However, you need to remind your listeners to subscribe. All right. So let me remind the listeners to go onto my YouTube page. That is Straight Up with Conrad. Go there and like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Of course, we're indeed delighted to join you there. And we continue to do our best to bring quality program to you. Let's see if we can take another. All right, we have about 8 minutes or so, 7-8 minutes to go. Let me remind you of the numbers: 876-212-9824. That's 876-212-9824 and 876-462-0919. Those are the numbers to participate on the program. The Gleaner is carrying this morning, no big visa hit. Few Jamaicans to be affected by Trump's H-1B fee hike, says attorney. And it goes on. This is an article that is penned by senior staff reporter of the Gleaner, Kimon Francis. It said a United States-based immigration attorney says the Trump administration changes to the H-1B visa requirements to include a 100,000 fee per applicant will not impact Jamaica and nationals. Jamaica and nationals seeking the travel document in any significant way. All right, in any insignificant way, but in what way will it affect? And it goes on to say the U.S. issued 478 H-1B visas to Jamaicans in its 2024 fiscal year, and 272 up to May of its 2025 fiscal year, according to State Department records accessed by the Gleaner. However, Florida-based attorney at law Oliver Longshot believe that the new policy is expected to have greater impact on nationals of India who are largely pursuing career in technology. All right. If we were to guess, it might be up to a couple hundred, but I think the overwhelming majority are other countries. So the overwhelming majority and other countries. So you don't expect it to impact us in any significant way. No, it won't impact Jamaica. Where you're seeing the impact is in, all right, seeing the impact in other areas. Obviously the removal of you are going to see problems, said the attorney. All right, so all right, we watch to see that. Attorney is saying that, immigration attorney is saying it won't impact us in a big way. All right, from glory to gloom, veteran Jackie, murder cast cast darkness over Waterhouse. So the St. Andrew South police have listed 2 brothers as persons of interest following the fatal shooting of veteran Jackie Omar Mullins in Waterhouse, St. Andrew, and Sunday night. Mullins, 49, was gunned down outside his home Oh my goodness. I know, not personal, but I know of the Jackie very, very well. A prolific Jackie had practiced his trade over there in Caymanas Park, Portmore, St. Catherine. And certainly we offer our deepest condolence to his family and friends, both immediate and external. All right. Seminal year for tourism. And we're seeing a picture there of the Minister of Tourism, the ever-present Edmund Bartlett, all right, touting his industry as per usual. Talking about that, I'm seeing a video that is purloined all over social media with some caption there from Dennis Meadows, who down there in Trelawney, where, you know, we saw major flooding took place down there, and he stated that the rain only fell for a few minutes, and the place was down there in Falmouth was basically inundated with water. And what we're seeing here in Jamaica, it seems as if people are just building, but there's no planned development. So many of our town centers are really being flattened out. That said, I want to say thanks to all of you who join us on the various platforms. Certainly, we invite you to go to my TikTok, my YouTube channel, Straight Up with Conrad, and basically subscribe there. I beg you, do that for me. And indeed, join us again tomorrow. Let me say thanks to President Malava, our guest, for joining us. On behalf of my producer, Tanya Richards, Conrad OBrian, say join me again tomorrow. God bless you all.
The preceding hour was brought to you by Kenmore Manufacturing Company.
Unity, strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity, strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity, strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity, strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity, strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as you affect the life of our nation.
When the game gets rough and the flight just seems so tough, make we talk, my people. Make we talk.
As long as it now is from
when this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people. Make we talk.
If we see corruption in any shape or form,
conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark the talk and you will see conflict solved A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend.
Make we talk.
Make we talk.
If we see corruption in any shape